Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Blindfold Off Podcast, where we take off our blindfolds and open our eyes to new views, topics, and discussions. I'm Emmanuel.
And I'm Ernie.
How you doing, Ernie?
I'm doing good. You know, I just woke up at 11 with you scaring me, just poking me in my side and just not even a, hey, Ernie, wake up. Just a straight poke and scaring the crap out of me.
Hey, I didn't think that actually scared you. I mean, I thought you had a bad dream or something.
Bro, PSA, guys, if you're going to wake somebody up, at least give them like a name warning shot like 2 or 3 times, then poke them.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, because you just like came up and poked me. You know, I was like, I was like scared. But anyways, today, guys, we have a very special guest. We have Karena Verbitsky, aka Bitsky.
Hey, what's up?
Woo! Yeah, what's up?
What's up, Karena?
Not much. Also just woke up. Pretty sore from my tennis matches yesterday.
So, off camera, we were talking about how you got McDonald's. What'd you get from McDonald's? What's the choice? Right
I
there?
normally get a bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle with a white milk, and they judge me every time because they're like, "You're not a child."
What?
And like, it's always like the face of the person on the window. They're like, "White milk for you?" I'm like,
White
yeah.
milk.
Yeah. You got to get that chalky milk.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe post game.
The chalky milk or the apple juice. That's fire. You ever get the apple slices?
No, I always get double fries when I get kids meals.
The apple fries, yeah.
See, I'm kind of sad that they just started adding apple slices into the Happy Meals when I don't have Happy Meals anymore.
You can get Happy Meals.
I mean, I know, but like...
I got them when the Pokemon thing was going on.
Oh, actually, yeah. I actually have the Pikachu box in my room right now. I have the Pikachu box in my room.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got apple slices with it, so I mean...
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was munching
Being
on
healthy.
them.
Yeah.
Munching on them.
Munching on them.
All right.
Pokemon on them.
All right, don't say that again. Please
Right.
stop.
All right.
Karena, can you introduce yourself to us and the audience? Because I don't know you super well.
Yeah.
Maybe give like a little how you got here and maybe what you want to do in the future.
Sounds good. Yeah, I am a senior legal studies major at Bethany, obviously. I also do music producing on the side, and I'm looking to go to law school in the next year. Interested in a lot of things. I'm also the president of like an anti-racism alliance on campus, and so kind of have my hands in a lot of different areas. Mm-hmm. But yeah, ended up here for basketball, and now I'm playing tennis.
That's pretty dope, honestly. You just
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, like doors open and doors close, and I just somehow just like find myself
That's
in
true.
the places I am, and I just like trust the path, I guess.
You think
honestly, that's dope though, that you can have a variety of skill sets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think everything happens for a reason, so you think
I definitely do, yeah.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you said you did music producing, and I know that we've talked a little bit about our musical careers and how we are both artists. And as a fellow artist, I kind of want to know your journey on how you wanted to become an artist.
Yeah, so like I actually growing up had a really bad speech impediment, and so I did not like speaking in public at all. Like I rarely spoke. I couldn't really say like a lot of like G's, J's, SH's, things like that. And so like I didn't like doing anything musical, anything. My sister was like really big in music, so I was like, that's her thing, like you good. And so I got into high school and I had this English teacher, and she was like, hey, there's a poetry slam in like 2 weeks, and like you should really do it. And I was like, because I was writing poetry, but at that point I wasn't doing anything like audio or verbal, I guess. Oral, there we go. And she was like, yeah, you should do this poetry slam. I was like, there's no way, like I can't. But I thought about it, I was like, okay, maybe I'll just do it like for the extra credit, whatever. And I ended up winning this poetry slam.
Oh, really? That's
and
dope.
I did it like 3 years in a row, and I loved it. And then like kind of like doing poetry and like spoken word kind of shifted into like writing songs, and like I wasn't really doing much with like performing them, because again, like I just didn't really have like the confidence to do that with like my speech impediment and everything like that, and like just never being, you know, in the spotlight before. And so like I was sitting in my room and I was like, I used to write like symphony music, like orchestral music on like Finale on my mom's computer, and I was like, well, you know, I can do this in Logic, like it's kind of the same thing. So I found like some MIDI stuff, and I was like, okay, like I can do that. And so I started producing and like using my songs and like songwriting, I guess, more than like performing, and I really enjoyed it. And so like that's kind of where I am today. Like I had like that evolution of like spoken word to songwriting to producing, and so yeah,
That's dope.
yeah, it's evolving.
So would you say poetry helped you get over like your speech impediment?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like I went to speech therapy and stuff too, so like that was part of it. But like as far as like the fear of public speaking, oh for sure, like it totally changed the game for
So
me.
would you say like you're more open now and just able to start a discussion with anybody?
Exactly. Yeah, it was all about like just kind of like getting that like slow confidence of being able to be in front of people, and yeah.
That's good.
I don't know how it was for you.
See, for me as an artist, oh man, I also, in a way, I did kind of have a speech impediment. I was just super stuttery kid. I would not be able to get the words out from my mouth. Like it would take probably, like it would be the stuttering where I repeat a certain sound, like sound, like that kind of stuttering a lot. And I think it also had to do with nervousness and confidence, not really confident in who I was or who I was. But now, how I kind of overcame it was definitely helping through music. Because when I would rap, you know, you don't really hear any stutters in rap when you're in the zone like that. And I think a way how I overcame it, how I overcame the fear of performing in front of people, I just had to be in my own zone as I was when I was recording the songs, just not care what people think. Because honestly, if you don't care what people think, if you're in your own space and just vibing, then you'll eventually get over it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that like when you have to enjoy what you're doing, otherwise like you're not going to be comfortable. And like if you're not enjoying like the music that you're putting out, and you're not enjoying like being on stage and like having fun with yourself and like just being up there and like having the moment, like why would anybody else want to listen to it, you know? So like when you're so worried about other people that you're not enjoying it, like that's when you're going to have a bad performance, because like you're just not like in your own like headspace.
Yeah, like you got to keep the same energy like when you're singing in the shower or dancing in a mirror.
Exactly.
Keep the same energy.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like really hard to do that, especially to not care what other people think. Think about like how many other people, if they just got over that fear, they got over like whatever fear they had of like performing and stuff like that, how many like great artists there would be now, or like how many people would impact the world like that.
Exactly. Like these
crazy.
people like in your class, and you're like, oh my god, they just have like exactly what it needs to be famous. Like they have so much potential. Like do you ever like meet people and you're like, they could so be famous,
Yeah.
but like it might never happen, and it's just like
Yeah, it's either because people are too scared to venture out into different endeavors or try new things. Like, for example, I know someone who's super talented in their music, and I tell them that you should make the most out of social media, for example, you know, kind of build a presence on social media, but they're kind of shy, and I'm like, oh, dude, your potential is just being wasted. You could do something. Yeah,
but it's also difficult. Like you can like lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Like you can kind of give them like, advice and stuff like that, but you can't really make them do it.
Ultimately, it's their choice.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. But that whole confidence thing is super, super big, especially in anything. Like especially since I mean you're an athlete as well, so just getting over like, I feel like it's also like a part of like the ego, because we're like, oh, we're gonna look stupid. I don't want to fail. What are other people going to think about me? And I feel like that's where anxiety comes from. It's more so like approval anxiety, whether it be like from your parents, from your peers, from your coach. It could be anybody like that. And I feel like that's how anxiety comes about. And if you look at it like that, it kind of, like if you look at it like on paper, if you kind of look at it like that and you just kind of mark out like what your anxiety is from, it kind of takes it away. Because you know, like you're bigger than that.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that, like, for you, music, Emmanuel, and sports for you, and do you think that was, like, what helped you build your confidence, or do you think it was something that, like, was more of a struggle in, like, trying to be able to be confident?
Ooh. I would say it was definitely a struggle, because when you do struggle, you build that strength. So that struggle created strength for me to be more aware of what I was struggling against. Because, and it honestly gave me the strength to just talk about it and the strength to write it down on paper so that I can kind of tackle the problems and look at it from an objective standpoint instead of it all being stuck in my head. So I think just having the strength to be vulnerable, talking about it with other people, that's ultimately what creates that self-awareness of acknowledging the problem and knowing how to solve it.
So the way you create confidence is like 3 ways. So you do it through self-talk, you do it through practice and hard work, and the third way is through past successes and let's say like the success you're having now. And those are the 3 ways you create confidence, because then through hard work you can be like, oh, I've been working really, really hard. Like I know I'm going to be successful, and you can trust yourself in that. And two, like, let's say your past success, you're like, oh, I've done this before. I can definitely still be successful. And the third way is like self-talk. Like, you know, like right before, let's say like you're about to get on stage, or like me, I'm about to go on the field. I'm like, you'll be fine. I'm a great player. I'm a great artist. I'll be okay, or whatever, anything like that. And that's how you create confidence. For me, I'm a small town kid. So I worked extremely hard. Like, I'd work like almost like it was my job to get where I am today. And I feel like I've benefited from that. And that's kind of like where they kind of teach you that, like, the a-hole swagger, like, because small town kid, like, it's like you talk your talk and you walk your walk. Like, that's how it is, or that's how I grew up. And that's how everybody is. So I would say I'm pretty confident in that. But it took me a while to get there, and it took me a while through my work and just past successes. That's what I say my confidence came about.
Yeah, I always say, like, confidence isn't reciprocal. Like, you don't need a reaction from somebody to have confidence. And if you're, like, expecting that and, like, relying on that, like, reaction from people, like, yeah, a lot of confident people, like, do get that reaction because that's just, like, natural. But if you have to have that, like, and to me, it's not really, like, true confidence, and it's not really doing anything, like, for you personally. It's not growing you in any way. Like, you have to be able to stand alone and be like, yeah, I don't need anything else but, like, my own situation and my own, like, motivation to get to, like, the headspace where I need to succeed in a game, or, like, where I can, like, perform in front of somebody, or just, like, be confident in myself. Like, for me, I had a lot of supportive friends that, like, helped me, like, realize that, and, like, I use them more as, like, a catalyst rather than a crutch, in my opinion. Like, if you're using, like, support and, like, people hyping you up as a crutch, like, that's where it becomes an issue for me, because when that goes away, like, what do you have, you know? But if people are, like, that's where, like, finding friends around you that are, like, catalysts that, like, are supporting you, making you find yourself. Like, that's so, like, important to me. And having, like, that good group of people really helped me. And, like, now that I'm away from them, like, I don't need them anymore. Not that I don't, like, appreciate them and talk to them, but, like, I don't need them as, like, what's supporting my own confidence. And I feel like some people, like, don't see that distinction.
It's not that you need that
facts.
approval, but you understand why you got there, and the things that caused you to get there and even get better than you are now.
I like what you said.
Yeah, that's really good.
Don't use your friends as a crutch, but a catalyst. That deserves an air horn.
That does deserve an air horn. That was really good. Yeah, I feel like nowadays everybody's just more so that for that approval, and that's where, like, depression and anxiety comes from, because it's just could be taken away like that. Like, with social media and stuff like that, I know, like, people just post stuff just for other people and clout and stuff like that, and they want to be bougie and stuff like that.
Just to fulfill that inner desire.
Yeah, it's like those short endorphins, like we were talking about off air. It's like yeah, you can get those, like, nails, but I mean, you got that big old gap now. But yeah, you just look good, or you can get that nice compliment and it makes you feel good for, like, a couple minutes, or even, like, a day or two. But then let's say, like, you fail again, and you're gonna need that let's say, like, positive reinforcement again. So how do you do that and constantly have that positive reinforcement? You find your friend group. You surround yourself with people who are like-minded and want to see you succeed, not just see themselves succeed, and kind of, like,
Yeah, exactly.
in the background.
I feel like when you're on social media and, like, you're posting all your good moments, like, but you're not really happy, or you're not really confident, like, that's not doing anything for anybody, because, like, for you're not getting fulfilled, and then everybody else that sees that, they're like, oh, that person's so confident, and, like, they're trying to be you, but, like, they're not really, like, driving after anything, like, real, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why you're just hurting the world in general. Like, you're not putting anything positive really out there. And so, like, sometimes, like, yeah, you might not have the best social media feed, but, like, if you can, like, impact people's lives in a way that's, like, genuine, I think that's way more important.
Right.
I feel like somebody being genuine is, like, very hard to come by these days, especially since it's, like, I don't know if it's just me, or, like, being up north, like, it's almost like it's not really nice. Is more of, like, being courteous instead of, like, I'd rather have you be, like, genuine. And let's say, like, if you're genuinely, like, mean, I'd rather have that, because I know exactly who you are, than rather be fake nice.
Right.
Fake nice to my face, and just go, like, say some rude comments when really truly I don't mean that about you. And it's kind of difficult to find that.
Yeah, there's this Big Sean line I heard. I don't remember what it was called, but I'd rather have real haters and fake fans.
Yeah.
Well, I think that like people are so afraid to be genuine because of like maybe like any negative reaction. Like people think that if there's any negative reaction, like they're doing something bad, but that's not true. Like being confident, for example, like doesn't always mean that you're going to be liked by people. And I think that like we have this false image that like if I'm confident, like people are going to like me, like I'm going to be popular. But like a lot of times, like the most confident people that are like sure in themselves are like either doing their own thing and like untouchable, and like no one's like, you know, really thinking about them, or like they're not liked in their own like hometowns. Like think about how many like big music artists, like their hometowns are like, oh yeah, they're not anything, like, you know, they're not accepted in their own high schools. Like a lot of people came out of places where like they weren't like in the in crowd, but like because they were able to like see their inner worth, like they got there. And like same thing with being genuine. Like if you are afraid of like someone being like, oh, like why is she talking to that person, or like why is she doing that, like if you have a reason, or like God's calling you to talk to somebody, like it doesn't matter about like the social like kickback. And like I think people are so scared of like any negativity today that like they won't do what they're meant to do, and they're not doing like their full potential, or just being like genuine people, because like sometimes being a genuine person means like you're gonna get some negativity back at you.
Yeah, and sometimes people are literally, people cannot like you for the stupidest like thing.
Right.
They cannot like you for the way you wear your shoes, like the stuff you're wearing, like stupid stuff like that. The way you talk, the way you act, like literally the way you act. They could be jealous of how genuine you are, how confident you are. They that, like stuff like that. Like
you don't know what's causing people's.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why you can't rely on that.
Yeah, you can always make assumptions, but I mean, assumptions don't really do anything. So
yeah, assumptions aren't the truth.
No. But yeah, people can literally not like you for anything. So I would just suggest anybody out there that's struggling with that, I would definitely try to get over it by just understanding yourself. Maybe spend more time with yourself, and try to just get to know yourself better, and just what you really do like. And if you really do like something, go out and do it, and don't be afraid to try something as well.
Yeah,
like life's all about trying and failing.
Yeah.
Then the things that you don't fail at, it's like some of the stuff you like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And see, there's a bunch of YouTube videos that I watch about where these elderly people, they talk about their biggest regrets, and it's so inspiring, or it's sad, but it's inspiring to hear about how they want to encourage young people to just go out and do what you want to do, because now that they're old, they can't do what they wanted to do.
Yeah, that's very true.
And you also, like, you have the ability to control your own narrative. Like, I always say, like, when I walk into a room, I don't let other people's energy come at me. Like, I radiate my energy into the room, and, like, I set the tone. And, like, you have the power to do that as a person. You don't, it's not like a cocky thing, like, oh, I'm better than you, like, I'm going to, like, control the room. But, like, you have the power to be like, yeah, I'm going to, like, set the tone, like, how I'm going to, like, be respected and how people are going to come at me. And I'm not going to, like, you know, let people control my narrative. And like you have that power.
Yeah, like that's true. Like if you were in a room with a bunch of people, oh man, I fell into this. I fell into this trap so much. It's probably just because I'm rusty at talking with people, because I've been in my own zone, just grinding. But I've caught myself just kind of just standing there, just alone in the corner, just like
the party meme.
Yeah, the party meme. Like they don't know that I make music.
Exactly.
like I've caught myself in that trap so many times. I'm like, dang, I need to go out and socialize more.
Yeah,
it's been a minute.
That's been my thing. Like working at like one step. Like I feel like I do little things to like help, I guess, practice. But like I'll go into a room where like people I don't know, and I'll just like walk in with my head up, and I'll like, hey, my name's Karena, my name's Verbitsky, like whoever I'm introducing myself as today. But you know, like going into it like with like on the offensive, I guess. Like if you go into a room with the defensive, like you're already at a loss. Like you're already losing. Like what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? You're gonna go in like on the offensive, being like, yeah, I'm cool, like I'm gonna meet people, and then they're like, no. But then you're that person that's like, you know, outgoing, and they're just like, don't know how to handle it. Like that's the worst that's gonna happen.
Yeah. Would you say you're an introvert or extrovert?
It's so hard because I feel like I'm an extrovert, but I'm also kind of like an ambivert, I guess, because I like myself, like my isolation, I guess. Like I'm an extrovert for like an hour or two, and like I'm home and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to be alone.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. For the first half of my life, I would say I was an introvert, just kind of in my own zone, just doing music or whatever. And then when I got to college, I started to get a little more extroverted. And now I kind of got a little bit more introverted, just, you know, realizing that these last 2 years of college is, you know, grind time basically. And I want to get back into extroverted again. because like I said, I don't want to be the guy in the corner at the party just like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I feel like in the last year, like I've really become way more extroverted and way more comfortable like with my like with social situations in general. And like part of that was like that friend group that I was in that like really supported me, but also like I think back like a year or two ago, I would never have put out like a song with my own vocals on it. And like I just dropped it. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. No one cares. Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen, you know? And so like I did that, but like looking back, like I never would have. And so like just that fact alone, like I always think like, oh, I don't have like much music out. Like I could be so much more than I am right now. But then like I'm always so focused on looking to the future and like comparing myself to that I forget about like comparing myself to my past. Like I, you know, have come so far just from then. So
That's very true.
Yeah, that's really that's
really
good.
Going back to like the respect thing, I remember me and Emmanuel were talking to a guy. His name was Andrew Puckett, and it's his mentor and my soon-to-be mentor. Shout out.
Oh, okay.
But he was. I talked to him about respect, and I remember you just said something about that. He said you shouldn't really look for like respect among college people, especially since they're trying to find themselves as well. And more so, everybody's on the same path now, and nobody's really confident in themselves. And more so, you should look for respect for yourself, and find that discipline and stuff like that. And I think that's a much better rule than like, because I feel like respect's more so like, it could be a part of like approval, like, you know what I mean? Like you're looking for people to respect you rather than you respecting yourself. You know what I mean? And that respect factor for yourself's much bigger than anybody else.
well, and if you don't respect yourself, like who else is gonna respect you?
Exactly.
Right.
Like how can you look in your mirror and like some days like I act a certain way and I just and I know I'm better than that, then I go back to my room like, wow, what was I doing? Like but in the moment sometimes you just get so confused, like not confused, but you get so consumed by other people, and maybe you get nervous or like you're like
yeah, and then you act out.
Yeah, or you like you just say some stuff that you don't want to even say.
Yeah.
Man, it's so easy to like lose yourself, even like on a day-to-day basis. Like you look back, like it's so important to evaluate like what you did and be like, why did I do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, was I doing that for myself or because like I felt like I couldn't do otherwise, you know?
Yeah, just going back to the thing that we talk about with social media too. Sometimes I do find myself posting on my stories just acting out or just posting on something, acting out not for me but for someone else, and it's a really bad trap that I fall into again. And I think it's important that we gotta discipline ourselves and be more self-aware about what we're doing. Are we really helping ourselves? Are we damaging ourselves by doing this in a certain way? It's just good to keep a good checkup on ourselves.
And also when people say like I do it for me, is kind of confusing, especially since when they post stuff on social media, when they say like I do it for me, it's at least it's very confusing, because it's like, well, if you were to do it for you, why don't you just like, let's say leave that photo in the camera roll and just enjoy it in the moment, rather than you posting it is already you just saying I want approval from other people.
Exactly.
Like that's what I don't understand
facts.
about like the I do it for me, because if you were to do it for you, just enjoy it yourself. Like why do you need to let other people know what you're doing?
Yeah, just save it in your camera roll.
I started going on a few vacations where like I had like a no record rule, like I had to live everything in the moment, and like some people are like, well, you're like losing all those memories. I was like, no, like if you're on your phone the whole time, like you're not making memories, like you're just like, you know, you're living like, even okay, I don't know if you guys like have ever tried vlogging or anything, but like when you start getting in like a vlogging mindset, like you lose like all appreciation for like the moment, and you're like, this will be good content, let's do this because like I can get a good like vlog portion or whatever. And like it's not that it's not authentic sometimes, like people that vlog, but like that mindset, you can't shut it off. Like once you get into a content creating mindset, like there's really no like getting out of that. And so like as much as you might have genuine moments, like you're not truly like free to just like enjoy the moment as you would if you like didn't need to capture any of it. And like I highly recommend like going on a vacation, just like having no phone, not you can have your phone, but like not recording anything, not like taking any pictures, like maybe like a Polaroid picture, but even that, like just not worrying about like keeping any of it and just like letting it become a memory. And like, I mean, really, if you're keeping it, you're not letting it become a memory at all. You know, if you have like, if you're needing all like the pictures on social media and all like the Polaroids and stuff, like you're using that to like keep it in the present. You know what I'm saying? People are just not allowed to like let things like go into the past. And that's like part of the problem that we have in our today's culture, is we want all of it like compiled into this huge, like, look at me in the present, you know, thing.
Yeah, I can definitely see what you're saying.
Taking pictures definitely captures the moment, but
Yeah.
I feel like if it's genuine, you can you can go back and think about it. Like you can literally close your eyes, think about that moment, think about like what the wind was, like who's standing next to you. Like if it's that genuine, you can.
Right. I'm not saying it's like always bad.
And of
like,
course, like when you're with
bad.
your family and stuff, like let's say like I went to Mount Rushmore with my mom and my dad, and that's like a memory we're probably not gonna get again, and that's a good moment to take a picture.
Right.
But obviously, you got to put the phone away and like actually like enjoy it, because I've never seen a head on a mountain. Like I've never seen a head on a mountain. Like it's so dope. Like it's dope. Then there was like tours and stuff. You can go to the top of like George Washington's head, and like it's so cool.
that's
Like
dope.
it was just a great moment. Like me and my dad and my brother are gonna go camping, and like that's just a moment where I'll probably leave my phone at home just to enjoy the moment. Like sure we can record, but like
Like
I don't know, we only have one life. Like you know what I mean? You gotta
Yeah.
enjoy those moments. So.
And there's a difference between like going on vacation, like you guys know, like you'll be like, oh, this would be a good Insta story, like let's take a picture of my food, and like now I have to like do the whole vacation, like I need to like be an influencer, and like I feel like we're so pressured, like even if we're not influencers, to like act like one, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're on vacation, like it's almost like an unspoken rule that you have to like post all the stuff you're doing.
Oh, man.
And like do all the cute little Instagram, maybe more for girls, but like all the cute little Instagram
You gotta
stories.
post a feet picture on the,
You know what I'm
picture
saying?
on the
Like,
beach. Yeah.
It's like, why? They're like, I don't have that many followers. Like, no one cares. Like, maybe if I had like 10K, like people actually wanted my like life content. But like, do people need your life content? And are you giving like real life content?
Yeah. See, going back with the live content, you have to make sure it's valuable too.
Right.
Like, say for example, you were to post a picture of you at Mount Rushmore, for example. I feel like if you are to be an influencer, or I mean, if you're just anyone in general, I feel like you need to provide value in a way, just to kind of encourage people to say like, I went on this trip with my mom and my dad. We had a really good time. This moment can't be replaced. I love my family so much. Just in a way that I feel like when you post on social media, every post should have value. It shouldn't just be for yourself or just to get likes. Every post should serve someone else to make their day better, to give them a new perspective, so that it's not just one-sided, oh, it's all about me.
Well, and those are the people that end up like being successful influencers anyway, because people want to like watch their content. They want to look at their Instagram stories. Like, I feel like so many of us are just like trying to like, maybe we'll blow up if we post enough of our like, you know, day-to-day stuff, but really it's people that have like a driven like purpose and like focus, and they're influencing. Like I have a friend of mine, and she is like doing like life coaching stuff, and she'll post a lot of her like daily life, her like food and her everything, but she's doing it in like an encouraging way, and like she has like a general like goal, and she knows what she's doing it for. But I feel like so many of like people on social media are just like posting whatever, hoping something's gonna blow up, and like that's not really how it works, you know?
Yeah, it's like they're looking down on people like, hey, I'm at Mount Rushmore, you're not, you know?
Instead of being like, hey, you guys like experience life, like look at this vacation, like you guys should travel more, you know? Like, I don't know.
It's a very, I don't know, I think it's very interesting, and like it can either be a really simple problem or it could be a really complex problem. Because think about it, like you could, like let's say if this is like 3 lines, you could have genuine, you could have fake, and in the middle you could have like, I don't really care. And like, you can go like that, like I don't know how many times, or you can be here for I don't know how many times, and you could be here fake. Like it's really hard to shift back and forth.
Well, you can be like genuine and pointless too, you know what I'm saying? Like,
like
if there's not a point, like
you post a meme, like just
you know, so it's like
true.
genuine, pointless, and like genuine, like purposeful, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Or you could be fake, like it's like that's, you know what I'm saying? Like you'd be
there's
both
so
like
many
at the same
factors.
time.
Fake, pointless, just like post a pointless meme, just the. I mean, I don't know why you post a pointless meme for.
All memes.
Yeah, but the only I could
guess.
say like for the people at home that like not really getting like what I'm trying to get at, like the only way you get over that is just. I know I was like hyping up, like not really hyping up, but I was like poking fun at the do it for me, but like you kind of have to do it for you. Like it's like it's hard.
It's
like,
hard.
I don't know.
Have you guys ever like taken a break from social media, like a substantial break?
Oh yeah, I have.
Yeah, they've been doing like the 6-month thing, and see where you are 6 months. You start, then you say like, you see where you're at, like you write down all the stuff you're at, then you take out your phone, then you just like 6 months later, like if I were to do it next month, I would just take my phone away and see where I'm at in December, and just.
I feel like it's so easy to be like, yeah, just do it, and it's so hard. Like, I
It
feel
is,
like I live a lot of my life on social media, and I feel like we make up excuses for why we can't delete it or why we have to like re-download it or whatever. And like I might move to Alaska, and so I'm like, it's such a perfect time to just like go off the grid and like really develop my own self. And like when you think about it, the fact that like we can't step away from social media just shows how much we rely on other people's opinions of ourselves, because that's all social media is. And like our connections with other people, like how much are you relying on that? Like it really shows.
Yeah, but I remember, that's a great point.
That is a great point.
That is, Emmanuel. But I remember we were talking to Andrew, and I forgot what he was saying. I remember what he was saying. I was like, it's very vague now, but he was like you can have social media to have it, but like you don't really need it. But if you do need it, let's say like to grow our page or like our following, like our podcast, that's a case where we need it. Yeah. But in other circumstances, he says like you shouldn't really have it if you don't.
Yeah, I find myself like, because I do use it for my music, I find myself justifying everything because I'm like, oh, I need it, right, for my music, so I can't delete it.
I feel that.
But then you're there scrolling for like an hour.
Exactly, and like when I'm on it, I'm never doing music stuff. Like if I spent as much time developing my brand and like putting into music as I did just scrolling through TikTok or scrolling through it, like, oh my gosh. Like I spend so much time looking at creators that I love, and like it's okay to have inspiration, but I spend so much time like looking at them, then I like am wasting the time that like I could be using to actually become them, you know? Like you're not going to become somebody by looking at them on Instagram, you know?
That's the car analogy.
Yeah, that's the car analogy.
The car analogy
that we like to repeat a lot.
Yeah, driving down the highway.
Yeah.
You drive in your own car, you can look at other cars, glance at them for a couple seconds. Yeah. But if you keep staring at them, you're going to crash.
Yep.
And at the end of the highway is your purpose and your goal that you want to get to. Don't forget.
Exactly.
I think that's a great analogy. You can use it for anything.
Car analogy. Yeah.
Then the other day I was like, you can have people you want in your car. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like your group or friends or something like that. You can get them in your car as well. Yeah.
And you have to make sure to differentiate the people that want to give you directions and the people who won't even give you gas money.
No, and I had a really good friend, not even friend, like more of a mentor. And like I had just started getting more into music and like being like, yeah, I want to do this. And he like kind of like gave me like a slap in the face. It's like, what are you really doing to like develop brand? Like truly, like you like talk all this talk, but like what are you really like actually doing like every day to develop your brand? And like I have a friend that has like a hip hop like group in the cities, and like him too. He's like, do one thing every day that develops your brand or develops like you as like an artist, and like in a year that's 365 things you did. Like even if you did like one tiny thing a day, you know, just having like one small goal, because I feel like it's easy to have like too big of goals and like be too future centered, and so like just doing one thing at a time. But also like if you're not doing anything, like you need to like look at that and be like, what am I, you know, really spending my time on and my mental on, and then, you know, growing off that.
Yeah, like you can't just rely on the statement of, oh, God has a plan for me, but faith without works is dead, you know?
Exactly.
A man who values sleep will, what is it? Like a thief will, like, what is it? Poverty will.
A man who values sleep, poverty will strike him.
Yeah, like in the night or something like that. I don't know. That's a great quote though. I don't know. I can't really repeat.
A quote or proverb. I don't remember where it's
I know Philippians 3:14. The baseball player quote.
Baseball player quote.
But what? I remember what you just said. You just said, oh, dude, I was literally just gonna talk about it. Well,
it's gone.
Can you repeat what you were saying though?
Oh my God, what was I saying?
You were talking about growing. Oh, so you can be like have a future sense. Like that's good. That's like your long-term goal. But even then, you can use the SMART acronym, like the
SMART acronym.
Yeah, the measurable. We're like, yeah, sure, but it works.
Yeah, but it actually does work. Yeah. Like you have your short-term goal, like measurable, attainable. Whatever the other one. They're the two
R and T.
Time is the last one.
Time is the last one. Then R. I don't know what R is.
I don't know what R is, but
reason. I don't know.
But yeah.
But anyways, like the 365, like just think of those like little wins to get your future goal. Like you know what I mean? Just have a goal every day. But even then, you don't want to do that like so much, like put so much pressure on that. So you're not enjoying life at the same time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, if you're not enjoying it, it's like there's no point.
Yeah, because then it's going to go away like that. And
because then it's just a chore then at that point.
Yeah.
And also, like, if you're not willing to invest in yourself, then do you really value yourself? Like, for example, like, I'm a girl. I go to Starbucks every once in a while, more than I should. You know, that's like $5. If I go like 3 times a week, that's $15. Like if I cut out one of those or 2 of those, and like, I could be promoting my like posts on Instagram for like $10. Like I could take $10 and invest it in myself. Like, am I investing anything in myself? Like, why would I expect others to invest their time in me if I'm not investing anything in myself?
True. Yeah,
Right.
true.
So like, what am I like truly like? Not necessarily on a monetary value, but like kind of like on a monetary value, because it's like really like, what are you giving up to become what you want?
Going back to the people that I talked about, that I say
That's a
that
really good
they have all
point.
this potential, and it's sad to see that they are investing time, but they're not investing money into themselves. And what I mean by that is like in a promotional aspect, like they're not doing anything. They're just thinking that, oh, I'll just drop the song and it'll blow up. Like, no, you still have to work towards it.
And it doesn't take much. Like people think like, oh, I don't have any money to do that, but you do. Like, what are you spending your money on?
Right.
Not you. You know.
Yeah.
You're investing for like the betterment of yourself, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially like in terms of an athlete, like I soon had to realize, like when I turned 19, I was like, wow, I'm literally getting nothing done. I'm spending all this money on like food and like Netflix and Hulu. And when I could be getting a trainer, I could be getting like a dietitian, I could be getting my blood work done, like, you know what I mean? All this stuff that could better me. And people like to dismiss it and be like, oh, it's not that serious, but to you it's that serious. Like, why can't it?
And that's how you get there. You
Yeah,
know?
why can't it be that serious? Like, you have to be the one to pave your own way.
Yeah, you could wait for somebody to invest in you, or you could just do it, and you can get
just
there.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Hafiz was talking about, he's like, well, we were waiting, like, oh, we can be on somebody's podcast, but why don't we just be the podcast? And now they're like,
Exactly.
now they're like 100,000 people. He's like $1 million business now. Like, just helping men like become better men, like, and I think it's great.
And like, how hard was it to like get in this room and just do it? Like, you just have to do it. Like, to take the step. Like,
Honestly,
there's opportunities out there that people just like are too lazy to take, in my opinion, or like they think it's too big and they just don't even take that first step.
And they're scared.
Yeah.
And especially like you were saying with the Starbucks thing, like, bro, you can go like once a week, or like you can make it at your house. Like, it'd be much cheaper. Like, and you'd have more like a quantity of it rather than just like buying the one drink for somebody to make it for you. You can just you could have that, then you could use the extra money from that to go like promote your music, or like save it to get a trainer, or go to the gym that day, or even like let's buy like a piece of equipment that'll help you later.
And I feel like we also like, as artists especially, like we focus so much on like looking like we're famous to be famous. Like, you're not gonna get famous by like spending $2,000 on like Gucci. Like, maybe you'll get a couple more likes on Instagram, but that's not gonna like boost you to the level. Like, that's not a smart investment in your music. Like, yeah, you can look good, but like if you're not spending as much on your actual music and in like your equipment and your training and your like practice as you are on like your look, like, you're not doing it right. You know what I'm saying?
That's important though.
Emmanuel's like, preach. You know, because if someone's listening to your track on Spotify, they do not see what you're wearing. You know,
That's true. Yep.
They're only gonna see it on social media, and you're gonna post it for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, if that's what you're investing in, like, cool. Like, maybe you want to be a fashion influencer, but like, if you're trying to be a musician, like, it really doesn't matter in the long run.
Yeah, it doesn't. They're there to listen to you, not see you.
And people think that like dressing like you're famous is going to get you into a crowd where like someone like, maybe you're going to be walking through Hollywood and some like famous person's going to be like, okay, yeah, they're wearing the same clothes as me. Like, maybe they're famous. I'll go talk to them. They don't care. Like, really famous people don't care about brands anyway. They do and they don't. But like, at the end of the day, like, it's really disposable to them. So why is it so coveted to people that don't have the money? You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
It's just like,
Facts, yeah.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Facts.
Yeah, like Mark Zuckerberg, he literally just goes out in a t-shirt and shorts.
Bro, have you seen Adam Sandler?
Yeah. He just got like denied from a restaurant.
Yeah,
for
you
the
see
wait.
that too? Yeah. Oh, you saw that on TikTok?
Yeah, like some
me too.
like waitress was like, yeah, we have like a 10-minute wait and like 20-minute wait. And he's like, nah, I'll leave.
He's a little later, bro. He was in basketball shorts and like a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man's a goat. He makes like millions of dollars. And
Because the second that you like don't care if you have something is the second that you get it. Like, I don't know, like when you the
That's
second you don't
facts.
care about other people's opinions of you is the second that people start admiring you for like your like untouchability, I guess. And like the second that you stop caring about nice things and like working on your music is the second that you're gonna like blow up and like get those nice things. And even like on faith-based, like the second that you stop caring about earthly things is the second that God blesses you with earthly things. And it's like,
stop looking at God like a sugar daddy.
right. And like
Yeah.
when you give it up is usually when you get it, which is like really ironic and like a paradox, I guess.
Yeah.
But like the second that you don't need it anymore is the second that you're gifted with it. And that then you have like the appreciation in order to be able to handle it without like having that overtake your needs and your wants and like your view of God, I guess.
Because your true values are,
Yeah.
you now value your true values.
Right.
Like your family, God, and I don't
And
know,
then
your
he's
purpose.
like, yeah,
Your
you
purpose,
can handle
yeah.
like, you know, a nice mansion now because you have your heart right.
Right, yeah.
That's facts.
Because if your heart's not right and you're seeking a mansion, you're going to be empty still.
Yeah, and I don't know. I was watching Fresh and Fit Miami, and this guy's he's a bag basically, and he's on there. He's like, get you a bunch of 19-year-old models and $1 million, and 19-year-old will be cured with depression like that. I'm like, sure, for the moment, like the month, then he's gonna blow the $1 million and he's gone. Like
$1 million is not that much money when you think about it. Like,
Yeah.
in today's world, like, I don't know.
Yeah, because
I don't
there's
know.
Planes, like 15
billionaires.
mil, like,
yeah, for real. Jeff Bezos making like basically all the world's money.
Yeah.
yeah. He's like,
Can you,
richest
like,
man in the
I can't even
world.
wrap my head around like being a multi-billionaire.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Like,
you literally have the money to buy the school right now if you
Yeah.
wanted to.
yeah, isn't Elon Musk the richest man right now? Because
I don't
Jeff
know.
Bezos kind of stepped down from being CEO of
I
Amazon.
think it might have like been a thing. I'm not
I
sure.
don't know.
Anyway, but yeah,
anyway.
they're rich people.
Yeah.
But like, this is like a mindset that I can't even like imagine and comprehend. Like to like be able to just buy $100,000 car and be like, pocket change. Like,
Yeah.
probably not even worth like, because they say that like it would take more money for like Bill Gates to like pick up $1 off the ground than it would for him to just walk by, or like
Yeah.
$100 bill off the ground. I think.
Yeah,
Oh.
and for him to just walk. Man. Yeah.
He's making so much money by breathing. But he had his heart right. I mean, think where he came from. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah,
he
that
That
didn't
man
get
was
there.
grinding for days
He
on
was in
end.
like a garage, like making, you know, what he was doing. He wasn't out there like wearing Gucci and like pretending to be somebody he wasn't.
Yeah,
Legit.
that's someone being genuine as well. Like, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
God bless him, because he knows. I don't know if he believes in God or anything, but like, God will bless you if you know you have like you can handle it. Like you were saying, like you can handle it now.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I watched this one reel on Instagram with Bill Gates, and then the interviewer asked him a question like, were you thinking about money at all when you were developing these computers? Then Bill Gates was like, 19 years old, I just wanted to make computers. And if
Yeah.
it helps someone, cool.
Exactly.
And look where he is now.
Exactly. Yeah.
crazy.
His heart was in the right place at the moment.
Yeah. I feel like very few people now like have their heart in the right place when they're pursuing their passions. They want to like take a fast track. Like that's what like when you like I use like the buying nice clothes as like an example, but it can be literally anything. Like you think that you can like skip the process if you can like buy these nice clothes and then someone will notice you and you'll get famous really quick. Like because they don't want to like do the slow grind, you know?
Yeah.
And so like we find ways to try to skip the process. Like we'll try to like blow up on TikTok because we don't think that like we can. And like you can blow up on TikTok. But at the same time,
They
like,
want the easy way.
They want the easy way out, and like that's not where like the real like grinding artists have come from. They've come from like
Yeah.
day by day. They're slow following, getting that like. I mean, even you like your following has grown so much just by that slow grind. Like you're not really trying to do anything crazy or like flex too much or like
Yeah.
you know you're just like getting that, and that's how you get big. Really,
Yeah, honestly.
there's very few that blow up on the fast track.
That's very
Yeah.
true. Another thing's like you don't even see like other people's grind. Like you're comparing your like day 1 to someone's like day like
Yes.
100.
Yeah.
Day 100. Like I don't know. People need to get their head out of their butts basically. Like just stop comparing and just get.
And
on
that's
your
where
grind.
social media has hurt a lot too. Like
Yeah, especially for the next generation, it's gonna be hard because they're like, oh well, Charlie D'Amelio, like they're like, oh look at her, like I want to be like her, like
She's like what?
Or
7?
She,
she's like a
blew up
normal teen. I
overnight.
guarantee you
Yeah.
right now, she's in her sweatshirt,
Yeah.
wearing shorts, in her bed with the lights off on her phone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're all the same. Like I don't understand people. Like we're literally all the same. Like the same thing you do, I do. The same thing you do, I do. The same thing
Yeah.
Drake does, I do. Like
People like idolize it so much. It's like if Drake was in a room right now, like yeah, he's Drake, but like he's a normal person. Like there's
Yeah.
not anything to be like crazy about. Like we'd have a convo.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I would probably be like,
You'd probably cry. You'd be
That's
like,
Drake.
"Oh, that's Drake.
Six God.
Chicago freestyle, please. TT. Are you outside in the AMG, Drake? Please come here.
We say that and then we're all like freaking out. Yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah, we
will.
say that,
Honestly,
we're all freaking out. Wow,
I
look at us.
truly would freak out if it was Drake.
But imagine. Okay.
But how
for a
many times
second.
do you get to be around Jake though? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, I think the thing is too that we would honestly freak out. Like we say that, oh, we're just gonna treat him like a human being, but the reason we do kind of freak out is because of that,
Yeah.
social media environment, and because of, and I guess another way that we could look at it too, besides from the social media environment, which is a bad perspective, but in a good perspective is look at the value that he's brought. Look at the good music that he's brought to entertain people's lives. Look at the messages that he's delivered.
Right.
Look at his Grammy speech that they had to.
Yeah, they had to cut him off for.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
Like-
he
Well,
was
I always like
spitting too
say,
much
like, especially
facts.
with music, like, imagine right now that like we're famous and like we've got all the, like, imagine I could call Drake right now and like if I had this life right now, like, would I be happy? You know what I'm saying? Like, I have it all right now. I can
Yeah.
call anybody I want to. I'm famous. Like, I can walk out there and like need security, but like, am I happy now? You know? Do you have it? Like, put yourself in that mindset for a second.
Yeah, if you have it all. See, yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
I'd still be like craving more, and like I feel like so many people, like, we think that they get famous and they're like satisfied, and like they're just normal people still. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like essentially as if like you see across campus there's another friend group that you've never met. That's essentially what the music community is. It's just another friend group, just like us.
Basically, yeah.
But they're
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
doing their own thing, and we're doing our own thing, and like, you know, it's just they're just people.
Yeah, and it's sad to see too that a lot of celebrities that have made it to the top, they're at the top, but who do they have to share it with? They're just by themselves. Like no amount of comfort at the top can ease a lonely soul.
Yeah, that's true. Dude, but I think like going back to the Drake thing, like yeah, we'd freak out, but like it's true. It's true. Like he's just another person. Like I know we'd freak out, but like it's just another person. True.
Yeah. And they don't want to be like, yes, some of them do want to be idolized like that, but
Yeah,
like,
some Drake. Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I
Like
get it.
a lot of people are like they don't get it either. They're like, yeah, I'm just a person. Like, chill, y'all.
Yeah.
I feel like it does. I feel like it does hit him at some point, but then someone
Yeah.
like other friend group has to be like, "Yo, like what the like what
I
are you
feel
doing?"
like- yeah,
and
I
I
feel
feel like that's where their morals and values come in. They're like, "Are you really treating your mom like that? Like, are you treating your friend like this dude's been with you since day one, and you're just kicking him out because he I don't know, like something stupid like."
Yeah, I really admire like Billie Eilish for that because she still lives at like home sometimes. I think she has her own house, but like she goes home and visits her. Her mom comes with her like to everything. Like her family is super close, and she's one of the only people I've seen that has like stayed so grounded. Like, who do you know that's as big as Billie Eilish has stayed that grounded?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that is so rewarding. And like she seems like she's the kind of person I could be like, yeah, go up and talk to her like a normal person because I don't think she ever left that mindset of like we're just people, like it's not that big of a deal. And she's young too, so like I get that. Drake, for the other hand, is like he's so like above everything. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
he
He
talks
could do
about it too, like in his
anything
music.
else,
He's like, I'm not even like trying to relate to like my past because like I don't even remember, like, you know, like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's not even who I am anymore. Like,
But like Joe Mauer for the Minnesota Twins, he would literally drive his grandparents to the game every single home game. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, people can't comprehend
Respect.
it because they're already putting them up here when really they're like they're here.
Here. Yeah, here.
They're here. Like they're just people. They're just people, but they put so much value on like earthly things, like you were talking about, and that's why they're up here rather
I
than
think that we put more value on their lives than they do. Like, not
exactly. Yes.
like we're over here
Yeah.
idolizing and wasting time when they're like, why? Like if you told them that, they'd be like, why are you wasting your time? Become your own person.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
why would
Yeah.
And,
why
and,
would-
and they say
yeah.
that all the time. They're
Yeah.
like, why? Like,
There's not going to be two Drakes. Like, why try to
Yeah.
be Drake? Like,
yeah.
no
Then
one's-
all people always try to compare somebody else
Yeah.
to Drake, and like,
Yeah.
like, there's not going to be another person that's like exactly like him. You need to be your own person that's going to like blow up in your own way and
That's
be something
facts.
different.
Yeah. Instead of being the next
Yeah.
this and this, be the first you.
Do you think like before Billie Eilish came, someone was like, yeah, this girl's like, yeah, I'm trying to be big. I'm just gonna like put spiders in my mouth and like hope I blow up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, like there's no one else like Billie Eilish, and
Wanna
like
blood
she's
on
doing
it.
her like something so different, and that's why she blew up because she's so different from like the norm, and like, yeah.
Yeah.
And tell everybody like you just have to be something different because people don't want to listen to the same thing over and over again.
you see Little Yachty playing Fortnite, like you're like, bro, everybody plays Fortnite now.
Yeah.
I don't even have games because they're just a waste of time, honestly.
Unless they're trying to do esports.
No,
millions.
That's yeah.
Esports.
Dude, there was like one like 14-year-old kid. He won $1 million because
Yeah, I
he
saw
beat
that.
all the pros in Fortnite.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, respect though.
Yeah, like
Respect.
literally, you can succeed in anything, like successfully make money. Like
It's crazy.
you just
yeah.
have to like go all in.
Like it's crazy to think about that in the next 10 years, there's going to be jobs that never existed now.
That's true. And technology and stuff like that.
Yeah, just because like 10 years ago, they didn't have any esports announcers. Now they have esports announcers, and they're making a lot of money.
A lot of money.
It's wild.
There wasn't even an iPhone like X like 95 or whatever we have now.
Got that Pixel life.
Oh, I got just
Not sponsored.
an iPhone 7 something.
Ayo, iPhone gang, let's go.
Sorry, can't be in this.
Yeah, sorry. Pixel user.
Hey, I like the camera. I swear, it's the best camera out
That's
there.
true. Yeah, it's a nice camera.
I use it
I'm not
like
gonna
when
lie.
I'm doing vlogs and stuff. It's so clean.
Yeah, not gonna lie. The Pixel camera's pretty nice.
And I use like Google accounts for everything, so it just kind of like syncs up real nice. But
Yeah, that
I
makes
feel
sense.
like I'm not like a crazy Android person. Like Pixel's as far over the line as I'll go. Like I'm not trying to be out here with like a Samsung, not
Yeah.
shading anybody out there with one. But like these look like iPhones. They kind of act like them. Like I had an iPhone before.
Yeah.
Probably have an iPhone after. But like
Yeah.
you know, don't come at me. Don't know where I live.
Yeah.
How do you deal with failure, Karena?
Oh.
And how do you deal with negative people in your life that you need to get rid of?
I feel like as a kid, like I naturally succeeded at things like pretty easily, and so like I didn't like have a lot of instances where like I failed, but like in college, obviously, like you can't do it all, and you learn. And like the last year, like I definitely had like a moment of like burnout, and like I was finally starting to be at a moment where like I could fail, like not like fail classes, but like fail just as a person, like, and get into a place where I was like not succeeding and not like getting anywhere. And I think that like you have to have good people around you, and you have to be honest with yourself. Like if you can't, and humble yourself as well. Like if you can't fail, you're not gonna be able to handle failure when it happens. And so like knowing that you're not untouchable, and knowing that like you're not, you know, any better than any other person that's like in a bad place, like having that like, I guess, reference. And then what was the second question? Sorry.
How do you deal with negative people in your life?
Negative people.
And especially like people in your friend group, and you just finally realize that they're like,
Yeah,
No.
I feel like I used to care so much about like one little like comment by people, and I would let that stick with me and like define myself. Like we all have things like somebody said in like 5th grade, and like it still
of course,
rings in your ears. Like like I'll never be able to see past that.
Yeah,
You know. But I think that like that's kind of like what we were talking with confidence is like part of confidence is like not caring what people say and not caring about the negative things, and like but I think you have to weigh it and be like, is this a valid claim? Like, is there something that I need to work on with myself? Like, are they being genuine? Or is it like just them saying something because like they either don't know my own life, or like they don't like get the situation, or they have their own motives, you know? And at the end of the day, like their opinion doesn't really matter. Like you can take it and you can weigh it and like take their opinion if you think that it has value. But like at the end of the day, like you should be able to like distance yourself from that. Otherwise it'll start to be able to like control what you're thinking.
take everything with like a grain of salt.
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
Like never believe anything you hear, and half believe everything you see. Like it's a good rule. I think that's a good rule of thumb. I mean, not a good rule of thumb, but like a good rule of thumb is like, let's say like you hear it more than 3 times, like especially from people that you value.
Yeah.
And that means
I think that like battling negativity with positivity too. Like if you're getting negativity and putting negativity out, like you're no better than the person that's giving you
That's
the
true,
negativity.
yeah.
It's like if someone's saying something to you, be like, hey, like, why are you saying this? Like, are you okay? Like, is everything good? Like, putting positive vibes
Yeah.
out there when there's negativity is making the world better. If you're like, you know,
I know there's people out there right now that are like, well, I can just be negative like them, and I'll like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But you need that to respect yourself. You need to respect yourself. Like,
Right.
if you're just fight it with positivity instead of being negative as well, like just shut them up. Like you're gonna more so respect yourself in the future, and you're gonna be more comfortable with yourself. You're gonna be like, you know what, tomorrow I was nice to them, and there's really nothing. They're just like, they're toxic. Like the definite toxic that you gave, like they're toxic, and you just realize, and you come to that realization, even though you're being positive with them. Like it's,
I actually found like a really good verse that was like talking about this. I had it written down. It said, it's 1 Peter 2, and it says, be careful how you behave among your unsaved neighbors, for them, even if they are suspicious of you and talk against you, they will end up praising God for your good works when Christ returns. And it's kind of like talking about the like, when you respond to somebody in a certain way, even if they don't like it and if they don't like appreciate it, like they're gonna think like, why would they respond that way? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do they think is important in their life that they don't like care? You know what I'm saying? And someone was
Right.
like,
Yeah.
let me find what I was saying about it. I had like a little note. It was like, as Christians, we're called to do things that might make us unpopular, but if we aren't confident in our faith and confident in the things that we say, like, who's going to believe us? You know, the fact that we go against the social norms and risk being looked badly upon attracts attention and gets people listening. And they wonder, what's so important that they would do all this just to talk about God, or just by showing their confidence, we are spreading light and making people think, and we didn't even have to do anything yet. Like, just us responding is already, like, putting light into the world, and we haven't even, like, gone out of our way, you know? And so it's really simple.
That is true.
Yeah, just us responding in a positive way, like you said.
Yeah.
It really makes it so that there's no harm done at all.
Exactly.
It's like heaping burning coals on their head.
And that's not to say there's not instances where you do have to stand up for yourself and be like, okay, this is not okay. Because if you're afraid to, like, cut things out of your life, then, like, sometimes that's an issue too. Like, sometimes confidence is being able to walk away from a toxic situation and, like, be able to let go, you know?
Nothing's ever going to change if you don't change it. Like,
Facts.
especially with like negative people. Like, it's so hard because you're so scared, like, especially, like, if you're young or, like, you don't know any better, like, you don't, like, you're scared of, like, their disapproval and the negativity that comes with it. You're just like, oh, they're going to hate me forever. But, like, bro, put it in perspective, like, 1 billion people on the planet, like, one person, 10 minutes, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, when you care about a person and let somebody shut you down, you're essentially saying that they're more important than, like, you, or, like, their potential is better than your potential.
Facts.
And so, like, if someone's hating on me and I accept it and I let it, like, keep me from dropping my next album, it means that I thought that, like, they had more to put out in the world than me, and, like, theirs was more important. And so, like, you gotta weigh that, like, when you think about it, like, you know.
Yeah, like just going off of what you said, I remember I saw this TikTok that said, as an artist, don't let user 927 opinion affect how you're gonna release your music.
Yeah. It's like you're like prioritizing someone else over yourself at that point. That's not healthy.
Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, user 927 said my music sucks. Like, who cares?
Yeah, and it's unhealthy, like, working and doing anything with, like, a fear of, like, you know what I mean? Like, a fear of I don't want to disappoint people, or fear of, like, I don't want to end up like this, a fear of, like, I don't want to look stupid. Like, that's unhealthy, and you need to recognize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, not, like, waiting for other people to make you feel successful and, like, you feel worthy. Like, your own happiness and fulfillment is a personal thing. It's not.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can make other people happy, but, like, that's not personal happiness. You know.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like if you're making all this food and you're serving other people, you're still gonna be hungry because you didn't make food for yourself.
Exactly.
The cup thing too, like.
Yeah, the cup.
All
thing.
these great analogies, like, we could just keep telling you guys, but, like, I don't know. I feel like we have. I'm not gonna lie to you, like, it kind of upsets me because I feel like we have really good content. And, like, I feel like we would help out a lot of more people if they would just listen. But I don't know. I feel like I can't really make assumptions, but I feel like if people would just listen, they would get a lot out of it. And I feel like people like judge us before anything too. They're just like, oh, it's Emmanuel and Early. Like, I can't take it. Like, they're goofy. Like, I can't take them serious. Like, bro, like,
they're goofy until we blow up and y'all are sitting there looking crazy.
No. But, like, we mean, like, well, like, we started this, like, genuinely, and I feel like, I don't know. If people would just listen, they would get a lot out of it. And I feel like the younger generation would benefit a lot as well.
Yeah.
I feel like as long as you guys stay, like, true to what you're doing and, like, genuine, like we were talking about, like, people will listen. Because people are so attracted to that nowadays. Like, anything genuine, they're like, whoa, you know? Like, they're not afraid
it's
to
like
say
an anomaly.
something.
I'm like, why?
It shouldn't be, but it is. And, like, as long as, like, you're making, like, real valuable content, like, the followers will come, you know? And so I would never have to worry. Like, I would never worry about that. Not that you don't have to, like, go out of your way and, like, try to recruit people to, like, listen. But, like, if you are doing, like, what God's wanting you to do and, like, putting out a message that people are supposed to hear, like, he's going to control that. And you're going to, like, get your path paved for you.
Yeah.
Let's talk about confidence. With confidence,
yeah,
I don't know. There's a lot of, like, fake confidence now. There's a lot of fake confidence, and real confidence is, and I don't know, believing in God and trusting that He has something for you. And trust. It's almost like if you went in every battle thinking like God was gonna back you up every time, like you wouldn't, like you wouldn't be scared of anything. Like, because you would win every time.
Yeah. The one time when you can rely on somebody else's opinion is, like, God's. Like, it's hard to have confidence without the love of God behind you. Like, without Him being your biggest hype man. Because, like, I always say, like, with music stuff, I'm like, why am I fighting for the attention of all these famous people when I'm like ignoring the one person that's more famous and can control the narrative of every famous person in the world? Like, God is the biggest producer. Like, he knows everybody, and he can literally control the second. Like, he could make you blow up in 1 second. Why would I go after somebody that can't really make me blow up over somebody that could make me blow up in 1 second? You know what I'm saying? It's like, there's like, that's not equal at all. Yet we decide that like God's not the like route to take for our successes, you know? And it's just like,
see, I feel like, or not, I feel like, I know that as Christians, we underestimate God's power a lot.
Yeah.
We underestimate his ability to give us opportunities. We underestimate his ability to give us strength, even.
Like Rico's was saying, we kind of like dismiss like God himself because we take him for granted, or we kind of take the Bible for granted. And the Bible, it's not really like a rule book, but it's more of like good advice, like good, really good advice that like you just always look back on, and it's always going to be there and literally never change. And it's been passed through time, like literally like through time. Like anything you felt now, like Jesus has done it and like literally overcame it because he was the last perfect person on earth,
first and last.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think. So, me dealing with negativity, how do I do that? Oh, you go first.
How do I deal with negativity? Let's see. I mean, I guess it goes back to the confidence thing about how people perceive you, and just not caring, just recognizing who you are, remembering who you are, what your purpose is, why are you doing this in the first place? Are you doing it for the approval of other people? And just honestly, just dealing with negativity, just step away, because you don't need that in your life. If you're aware that this person is being toxic and just not doing anything to help you, first, I would say address the problem, tell them. I mean, of course, it's going to be hard to confront because no one likes confronting at all. But I guess for me, I would say just approach them and just, you have to confront them in a way.
Really do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it because I know I'm not going to do it, but
Yeah, I also think that like closure, it's not like fake. I don't understand. Like, I don't think that like closure can be really good sometimes, but I think that people rely on the fact that they need closure to like justify staying in someone's life or like justify keeping someone in their lives. I think that like sometimes like there just needs to be a clean cut. Like, you don't always get a happy ending, a nice closure. You don't always get like things to be nice and like tied with a bow. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes there are like messy endings and you just have to walk away. And like you don't get to like finish that situation. You just have to admit that like that person isn't good for your life. And you just need to walk away and let them go their own way. And like sometimes it's hard because you want to like be able to be civil with people, but there's like instances where like you just can't, you know?
Yeah, you can't make peace with everyone. That's what I learned. Like, I've burned a few bridges. I'm like, dang, but I guess that relationship or I guess that friendship was just never meant to be.
Yeah, like Andrew was saying, he's like, there's those people you have to kind of be an a-hole to. Like, you just have to, like, or else they're not going to get it.
Yeah.
You have to like, otherwise you're going to get walked on.
Yeah.
And
I know it's hard, but it's, I don't know. I feel like confrontation is easier for me than it is for like you, because I know you don't like confrontation like at all. Like, I don't know, how do you?
Yeah, I beat around the bush a lot.
I feel like I like to address the problem, but I also hate tension. So like I will avoid tensions until I have to.
For me, like, a confrontation was never hard, but it's more so getting over like the answer I didn't want.
Right. Especially when
true.
like it's a personal thing, when like they are talking about something that like hits you deep. It's like you keep thinking about it. You're like, oh, well, maybe like it's them, maybe it's just them, or like, but you have to like admit sometimes that you're wrong.
Yeah, it's always a two-way street.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't.
Like when you approach them and they give back a good point against you, you kind of just have to accept them. You're like, I'm sorry, I couldn't do what you wanted.
Yeah. I feel like so many times people are petty. Like, I hate pettiness. Like, I cannot. Like, just be the bigger person. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, being petty doesn't solve a thing. And it makes situations so messy. Like, especially with, like, ends of friendships, ends of relationships. You know, like, why are you putting, like, that much of your own, like, like headspace into something so toxic. Like there's no situation where pettiness is not toxic. And like I don't know, I have some friends that are like, see, like they pride themselves in being petty, like, oh, I'm gonna say this to him, or I'm gonna like do this, and like she did this to me, watch what I'm gonna do. It's like that's such like a negative, like that doesn't help you at all.
It's so childish.
And it only hurts you. Like it doesn't, they don't care. Like that person is gonna like maybe be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be petty back. But like pettiness only hurts your own mind and your own like soul, really.
Yeah, and also your reputation in a way too, because they'll look at you like, wow, like they really just said that to me. Like, what the heck? What kind of person is that?
And then people that are petty are always like, I don't really care, but I'm gonna do that anyway. Like you do care, like otherwise you wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, being petty shows that like you lost, you know, like you got affected by that person. You took that negativity like and you ate it.
Yeah,
you know.
That's true.
I feel like looking at it as a win-lose thing is bad already, because if you're like, what are you winning? Like,
exactly.
What are you losing? Like you're losing basically respect for yourself. You're losing your cool, and you're losing basically, I guess, your reputation. Really give a shit about it. Like, I don't know, but you're not really winning or losing anything. Like you just.
But it takes a lot of maturity.
It does. Like it takes a lot of maturity to forgive.
Yeah.
Too. And I think more people need to forgive because they want that grudge or something. Like they see, especially with athletes, they see that one person like, oh, they doubted me. I'm gonna like bro, just forgive that person. They said what they said. Like yeah, they may always be that person, but just forgive the words. Like you don't have to. You cannot be around that person. Like you just forgive. Forgive. Like you don't have to stay anything. Like you don't have to be around that person or anything.
Yeah.
Forgiveness, like just like confidence, forgiveness isn't reciprocal. Like you don't need a response. Like forgiveness is from me to you, and it has nothing to do with you. It really has to do with my own heart. Because when I don't forgive you, like it's not about you. It's my own bitterness attacking my own heart. And like I went to church, and like we had this night for like one of our youth groups, and it's like you thought about all the things like you've been holding on to, and all the people that you, even if it's like something small that you haven't forgiven. Like for me, past coaches or like people that said things to me that affected me. Like we don't think about all the things that are building up into this mass like ball of bitterness in ourselves. And like when you forgive somebody and like you start forgiving people, like you get God's blessing. Like the pastor that was speaking was like, when you forgive, like it's almost like a chain reaction. Like it does, like God works. When you forgive, God works. And like that's so true. Like I like personally, like when I started forgiving people, like I was more successful. I was happier. Those people, you know, some of them came back in my life were like, you know, I was able to talk to them in a stance and like in a perspective of not being like mad at them anymore. And like I was able to mend some bridges. I was able to walk away from some people, and like it's just so powerful to be able to forgive people. And like it's easier said than done, but like it truly is something that like I pray about every day, and like I really recommend.
Even if you forgive that person and you let them back in your life, they can still take a mile when you give them an inch again. But then that's where you draw the line, and you know, you're like, yo, you can't be around me anymore, or you can't give that person any more energy.
Right.
It's facts.
Yeah.
Dang, it's hard. It's so hard for somebody to like be mature nowadays. It's just because like they want to have the last word, or they want to be like
everyone. Like, see, if you're fighting for the last word, you already lost.
It's that social media thing again. Like
going back to social
they
media.
want the last word, so like that person can't say anything back, or like
it's a pride thing too.
It's about and giving up power.
Get over your like your ego too. You know?
Yeah.
Bro, that's crazy. Honestly, like I know I say it, but I still like make these mistakes. Like we all make these mistakes.
But then being able to like admit that you
them.
made a mistake, and like admit that like you were in the wrong, and like maybe not now, but like as soon as you do realize that, like I've had multiple conversations where I go back to people that like in my past, I'm like, hey, you may not care about this, but I do, and it's on my heart, and if it's on my heart, I need to let it go, right? And so I'm gonna tell you this. Like every New Year's, even though I don't do resolutions, I try to go like, look back at my year, and like anybody that I had like fights with, or that I don't know like talk to anymore, I'm like, I admit my side. I'm like, I don't know like what's going on with you, but like I apologize for anything that I've done, and if I've hurt you in any way, and like even though I don't necessarily think that I did much wrong, like maybe I did. And so if there's something that you think that I did, like either we can talk about it, or you can just know that I apologize, you know, and things like that. Being able to like talk like that, I think just shows some maturity.
Yeah, that's true. That shows you're on the different wavelength.
Yeah,
like Andrew was talking about. Bro, I keep quoting Andrew. Shout out Andrew. I took it serious. I was like seriously listening.
Yeah,
like, I took it serious because I know it's just the movies, but we were watching this new movie at the movie theaters, and it was like, and there was these girls that would like not stop talking right in front of us.
Yeah, they're like, oh my gosh, oh da, da.
Oh, the guy's dying, and she goes, oh my god, he's dying.
We're like, oh, we get
and we're
it.
like, bruh. And we were about to tell her like, yo, shut up, but we were like, nah, we're on a different wavelength. We don't need to talk to her. Like, even then, like, somebody says something negative to you, like, you're on that different wavelength, like, you don't need to respond. Like, you're mature than them. Like, why respond? Like,
and I think that comes in time. Like, I think that some people, like, reject it, like, the growth into that. But I think that sometimes, like, it just genuinely is, like, about, like, growing up. When
I'm 18, I wasn't going to realize this. I'm not going to lie to you. And it's been 2 years, like, I'm up here, and I'm like, my 18-year-old stuff's like right there.
And we're still growing from here. Like,
yeah,
we're like, still going from here.
Yeah, definitely. We have not arrived.
Like, imagine what we would be at 30.
Yeah, or 20, like 25, dude. Like,
25 even, yeah.
You're 21, like.
21, yeah.
Wow,
you made it.
Yeah, I made it. I'm legal and regal.
You drowned your shark in the pool of. What was it called?
Oh, the tipsy shark.
The tipsy shark. He was. This man had like half of his drink. He was arguing with the waitress.
Yeah. So basically, my shark. So originally it was at the top, right? It was at the top of the glass, and then I was halfway through it, and then it was at the bottom, and then I'm like, hey, Katie, or.
Oh yeah, that's her name. That was her name.
Yeah, like, hey Katie, how come my shark's at the bottom? I'm supposed to be at the top. She's like, well, you know, sharks live underwater. I'm like, but it was at the top in the first place. I was
He was heated. It was so funny.
I was out there.
It was funny, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was funny. Well, thank you Karena for coming on our show. Is there anywhere they can find you on social media?
Yeah, I'm Verbitsky, music Bitsky, music on Instagram, or Karena Verbitsky on YouTube. You can find my music there. Should be dropping some stuff soon. So
it's fire. It's fire. I love the EDM sound.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And always you guys can find us at Blindfold Off Podcast on Instagram and at Blindfold Off Pod on Twitter.
And also Blindfold Off Podcast on Facebook now.
Oh.
We got Facebook. Yeah, for the old people.
Mom, that's for you. I only have Facebook to like remember people's birthdays.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. Because Snapchat... Because at least on Facebook, they'll like show you like a pop-up notification like on your home screen. But on Snapchat, you just have to look at the people's names. I'm like, oh, sorry, bro.
I just go to make sure my mom's not posting anything cringy of me. Like,
you're like, Mom, take it off right now. Report it.
Yeah.
She has no chill. Moms have no chill on Facebook. Like, they'll post anything.
Dude, they're like, oh, you look fine. You're like, stop.
You look fine, and you look like this.
Like, you look so cute, honey. I'm like, yeah.
So cute.
Bro, the mom selfie.
The mom selfie.
That's the mom selfie.
They like put their phone up.
The only thing worse is like moms on Instagram. Like, I
with
swear.
the dog filter.
With the dog. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, they look all so cute. See, like moms, they have their phones up there, but dads have their phones down here.
They're like at their stomach. They're
they're like on their
posting
stomach.
Like memes and stuff, or like old memes that I think are like that's the best thing they've ever seen.
Oh my gosh, that's so true.
Yeah.
Shout out,
it's
Dad.
okay. They really try to understand the internet. They really try.
It's okay. It's cute though.
It is funny.
I feel like it's like
it's cute.
we allow it.
Yeah,
but they be sending me like some weird stuff. I'm like, yo, what are you doing, dude?
Yo,
like, this is not funny.
Like, my dad, he sent me a video on Facebook that said, oh, everyone's talking about the millennials and Generation Z and whatever, but they're not talking about Generation X. Yeah, and then there's like a whole rap song about it. I'm like, Dad, why you send me this? I'm like, I don't care.
I have a theory, though, one more thing. And my roommate has this, like, theory that, like, there's millennials and then there's Gen Z, like the TikTok like Gen Z, and like I don't feel like us and like a year above us and a year below us, like we don't really vibe with like the e-boy like TikTok, like that's like we're technically Gen Z and they're Gen Z, but like they're like in their own world, and then we're not millennials, we're not millennials, you know. And like, so she was like, we're Generation Vine, like, we grew up on Vine, like the 2 years the Vine was a thing, and like true. It changed us, like we're in this like separate little bubble of our own, like
that's us,
like we could we could be like,
we will never forget it too, like we'll just like like say something like
You could be like, yeah,
like
sure,
why
hope
the
it
fuck
does.
you lying? Like we'll all know it. Like
Everybody, like, we'll be at like a family reunion, like 80 years old, and someone will be like, look at all those chickens. And
yeah. Oh, an avocado. Thanks. Like, see?
You stupid.
But like, they don't really
21.
understand that
Yeah.
unless they've seen it on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
millennials don't get like we were in this weird, like, I don't know about you, but like when we were a kid, like I remember before internet was like super big, like when Facebook became a thing, like I was like, you know, alive, and like
Yeah.
like when we used to play like
Yeah.
like we were on the internet, like computers
Club
were obviously
Penguin?
a thing, but like it wasn't like what it is today. Social media had not become a thing yet, so like we
Nuh-uh.
were like the one generation that has experienced like before social media and like during. Like Gen Z
That's
now,
true.
like they
Mhm.
have
They
never
just-
experienced no
yeah.
social media. Like,
Yeah,
that's their
like
life.
they literally woke up and it was there.
Right, and millennials, like they were already grown by the time like social media was a thing, so like they've kind of like got into it.
Mhm.
But like we're in this weird, like we experienced both, like as we were growing into ourselves, we were growing with social media. And I think that like we're in like this special little bubble.
Yeah.
And
Gen
we-
Vine.
Gen
Shout out my
Vine.
roommate. Shout out
So
my
when we like kind of know what it is without it, so we can like kind of leave it if we really wanted to. But them, it's like that's
Yeah.
all they've known. Like you know.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine like being born into like the world of just social media.
That would suck.
That-
so-
that
And we
would
wonder
suck.
why they have mental issues.
Yeah,
and,
for
like,
real.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine.
But it's so difficult. Like, how do you?
But you can't like tell them like, yeah, it was better before. That's like a boomer being like, yeah, it was better when I was a
Boomer.
kid. Like,
Back in my day. Okay, boomer.
you know.
Root beer was 5 cents.
And so I think this is like how we know we're old. You know.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you would parent that. Like, I mean, you would put like your kid's gonna do it anyways.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you can either
You can just like totally isolate them or not. You know. What
But
I'm saying?
that's not. See, that's not good.
No, it's
And,
not good.
like,
It's not
even
good either.
even letting them just do it on their own, you kind of have to talk with them.
Yeah.
It's more like having like an open like,
Yeah.
like relationship. Like
With
you know what I
your
mean. You
kids.
have to make it okay. Like I feel like our parents like. I don't know if they did that to you, but they kind of like it's not so much shame like if you made something or you did something wrong or it was like super embarrassing, but like that's
My parents were always super open. They were like, as long as you like talk to us about it, like we're never gonna be mad at you. But if I find out through someone else that you did something, like, oh, we're gonna have problems.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
my parents and I like have always had like this super like communicative. That's a word. Relationship.
communicative.
And like and so yeah, I think that really helped me. And like I've never really lied to my parents about anything because I don't feel like I have to. But I know that some parents are strict, and like when you decide to like isolate your kids and like keep them and like try to control them, like it doesn't ever end well. And so I think that like looking like to my kids on social media, I just have to like sit down with them from like a young age and be like, here's the reality. Because if you try to tell them something other than the reality, like they're gonna find out either way. Like I'd rather it come from me, you know?
Mhm.
yeah, that's true. Then somebody else that they learn at school, like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I just
for
want to be
real.
like proactive and from a young age. Be like, hey, here's
But
the stitch.
You kind of have to think about it like too as parent. Like your parents are people too, and you have to think about it like they don't know any better. They have to
Right.
make the best assumption or
Yeah.
or best like best judgment at that moment. And sometimes they don't always make the right judgment. Like
Right.
and you kind of have to like forgive them for that. But like if you're you're good now. I mean, I'm here.
We made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made it.
We are here.
I got a podcast.
We made it.
Mom.
Suffering from success.
Suffering from success.
DJ Khaled. Yeah, let's hit the outro again because
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Sidetrack.
no, you're good. You're good.
It's okay. But yeah, like we said before, you guys can follow us on Twitter at Blindfold Off Pod, on Instagram at Blindfold Off Podcast, on Facebook at Blindfold Off Podcast.
You can follow me on Instagram at _EARMENTA, EARMENTA.
And you can follow me at Emmanuel LKD on Instagram and all the other social platforms.
And you can follow Karena at.
I'm K-Bitsky Music on Instagram or Karena Verbitsky on YouTube. So yeah, check out the music.
Can they find out your music like on SoundCloud or like?
I have a SoundCloud,
Apple
but it's like
Music?
old stuff. I
Oh.
am gonna be getting stuff out distributed probably within the next year, but YouTube's my platform right now. So
Nice.
yeah.
Anyways, with that, guys, thank you so much for listening.
And we are out. Peace.